All right, thank y'all. Welcome back to Optimistic Podcast. My name is Steve and my co-host.
Hi, I'm Alicia.
Alicia, we have some good guests going on here today. You want to introduce our guests?
So I'm going to introduce the ladies. We have Sahad Washington right here.
Okay, how you doing, Sarah?
Good, how are you?
Who else do we have?
We have Michelle Roberson True.
Hey, Michelle, how's it going? Great. So, how do you guys feel about being on the podcast today? You were nervous, a little excited. We're going to have some fun, so we want y'all to loosen up. Alicia, she's going to take the floor and ask some questions, so they'll be much safer than the questions I would ask. I'm going to definitely get a little messy, but before we get started, got to talk about it. Every time we do a podcast, we got a latecomer.
Every time.
My buddy Michelle. And I said it before you got here. I said, I bet you Michelle going to be the one that's late. You didn't let me down.
I'm never late, but
You were late. You were
Yeah,
late.
I was.
You were late. You were late.
no excuse.
No excuses. No excuses. So we want to start the ladies off with some questions and get everything going for them.
Well, I just want to thank you all for coming. I know that you came from Charlotte, so I really appreciate it. Was the drive okay?
Yeah, the drive was good.
Okay.
77 was its usual.
Okay. You excited, nervous? How you feeling? Just checking the temperature.
I'm good.
Okay.
I got a little plug for you.
Okay, what?
So how, tell them what you do for business.
I'm the VP of Mortgage Lending at Guaranteed Rate. And
Mortgage lender?
author,
And an author too?
Mm-hmm.
You write books?
financial literacy activity books for adults.
Okay, that's awesome.
I'm about to throw a plug in for her because she's not going to do it. And come on, Michelle, because you're a boss. What you do?
Well, I'm in the logistics.
Then you have your own, so it's
On truck.
your own truck. So you're the boss lady.
I'm boss.
Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. So because Alicia wasn't going to do it, I'm going to throw a little plug in. She has something going on called Women in Business Leading the World, and it's a movement for ladies. And she's going to start with doing paint and sip.
Paint and sip.
A paint and sip in June, but the whole thing is really moving towards we don't want to call it conferences because everybody calls it conferences. It's going to be called movement. It's a movement bringing women like yourselves together, bosses, right? And teaching other young ladies how to become bosses, right? So maybe when she start her conference, maybe she can get some of you guys to be a part of that. See how your partner helps throw a plug in there for you?
I appreciate it. It is new. It's still in infancy stage, so I really haven't been talking about it a lot, but I am excited about it. And I hadn't even told you about it.
But you have to talk about it.
I know.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so go ahead, start with your questions.
Okay, so we don't have a topic, as you know, on this show. I know you watch, the podcast, a couple episodes. But one of the questions start out is, how do you feel about two strong-minded people in a relationship, as far as two bosses, women and a man?
Do you want to go first?
I don't have a problem with it. You can, sometimes two strong people can clash, but if you get that communication, understanding where you're trying to go, I think it'll work well.
Okay.
I prefer it, to be honest. Just my focus on business is not going to change. So if I didn't have a strong partner, I don't really know. It wouldn't last. It wouldn't last very long.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be necessary to have someone that is equally strong energy. I think it would make it easier.
So do you guys believe in such thing as an alpha man, alpha female? Because I really don't believe in an alpha female. I don't believe there's a such thing as an alpha female. In the wild, there's no such thing as an alpha female. So when I hear female say I'm an alpha, that kind of rubs me as a man the wrong way, right? Because when we're talking about a scale of balance with life and nature, we can't change the way balance is been created by the creator already. So if you have an alpha male and a woman says she's an alpha, then how's that going to really pan out and work? I just don't see that happening. I can see a strong woman, but she cannot be an alpha.
And that's why I said strong.
Right? Yeah, because there's no such thing. So when women make that word up, I say go find it in the dictionary and show me where they contribute that to being a female. That's a male's trait. And when women say they're alpha, that creates a struggle within the relationship, because a man can't, unless he's, he loves men and he's with a woman, he can't date another man. So you can't be an alpha. And I know you want to say something because I see your face, so go for it.
Well, what I'm hearing you say is that you're triggered by someone referring to themselves as an alpha female?
What I'm saying is, you can't create something that's not. Women say they are alpha female, but there's no such thing as an alpha female. So look it up.
I mean, it's really just a title. I think
It's not
is
just a
it-
title.
what I'm saying is, I guess what's more challenging for me is, why is that triggering for you? Because it's just a verb.
It's triggering for any man, because when a woman says that, she actually believes that she's stronger, or putting herself in the position of a male. So me, when people talk to me about certain things, I'm biblical, right? So if you believe in God, because I hear a lot of people say, well, I believe in God, I read the Bible. So you can't change what the Bible says, right? The Bible says that the man is the head of the house as God is the head of the church. This is what it says in the Bible. So when a woman says she's alpha, a lot of times she put herself in that position to say she's the head of the house when she has a man in the house. So that is not just triggering for me, that's triggering for a lot of men. So my question is, how can there be two alphas of opposite sex and make it work? How can that happen?
So, just so I can unpack everything that you just said, because it's really more than a question. There's several statements in there.
Yes.
And I'm not saying I'm disagreeing, but the same way that there's alpha amongst animals that don't identify as male or female, alpha means leader. Why are you associating strong or alpha with, in some way, diminishing whatever you think of yourself as a male?
No, never that. What I stated was, if you think biblically.
Well, no, you said that you're very biblical. I never said that I think biblical.
Okay, but I am.
Right. So from your perception, this is how you view someone identifying as an alpha.
You're correct.
female.
You're correct.
Okay, so
because I'm biblical and because I believe in the Bible, right? Because I stand on that. If God says that the man is the head of the house, as Jesus is the head of the church, why do I have to fight for a position that was already given to me? Answer that question.
I think you're fighting yourself.
Enough of that.
Perception is reality. So if that's what you believe it means for a woman to be referred to as an alpha or identify as a strong woman, right? If we're letting the word be interchangeable, or the leader of what's going on, another interchangeable word that doesn't have anything to do with alpha but represents the same thing based on how you're describing it, why is it that someone else identifying in your space as an alpha is somehow diminishing you being an alpha?
That's not what I said, but I want you to answer that question.
For me, I've never, like you said, to me it's just a word. But I've never put myself or said to myself, I'm an alpha woman. I know I'm a strong woman. And that's how I look at it.
That's the difference between, I said, not taking away a strength of a woman, but a lot of women I've heard say that they were alpha. So my argument is not taking away anything from the woman or diminishing myself, as you stated. When I hear a lot of women say that they're alpha, that's not just triggering to me, that's triggering to men. When I look at things as a statistic in a whole in this society, certain things that men have become, they shouldn't be, and certain things that women have become, they shouldn't be. That's why I see like an unbalance in relationships now, right?
Well,
There's a lot that goes into that.
But I haven't really heard too many
I haven't either.
women saying that they're alpha women.
Is that a thing? Because I didn't know.
I hear it all the
never.
time.
Well, really, my question was, how can you make a relationship like that work when you have that strong dynamic of those two strong individuals?
I think you can, because if someone is truly a boss is not there to everybody else is beneath me. A real boss uplifts everyone around them.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have two people that are focused on pouring in and uplifting whatever's around them, you're destined to do great things.
See, I-
Especially if that's your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, all right, come on, we be doing this here. Okay, great. You know, what can we do better? Or you know, or trying to figure out how you can uplift your company. Or same as for me, I would be trying to uplift him. Or you know, what can I do to help you? Or you know, just to be that. I'm not gonna look for the word.
To help each other. Because
Like your
leaders,
partner.
Yeah.
because leaders build other leaders.
Right.
So the whole purpose of the question wasn't just, if this is not coming from me or coming from him, these are just questions that people have asked. And we were just asking the question, you know, to other people.
Oh yeah.
So this is not coming from us.
Oh no, I just think like I think our mind went to the same place. Like when you hear the word boss, or some people say that's the person that's in charge, and then other
Yeah.
people think that's the one that's going to lead us all in the right direction. So
And I agree with you because I'd rather have somebody strong and not somebody say, oh, I'm gonna do it. It's like, you know, you try to uplift, you know. I mean, I've done this. I try to uplift a couple people, but it doesn't work. Because if you're pushing and pushing, like I'm pushing my business, I'm out there trying to get this money, and they're like, oh, I'm doing it. It's like, to me, it gets frustrating. So I'd rather have another strong person with me because we're doing the same thing. It's not you lacking, and I'm looking at you like,
this is their standard of living. They have a standard that they
Yes.
live by.
yes.
People don't have a standard. You get anything with them. They have no expectation for themselves.
Or they'll say, oh, you always working, and you know, because you got a lot of downtime. What are you doing? You know,
Right.
That's funny because on our
that's
last,
the issue
If you
I
have that
have.
much time.
that's funny
Yeah.
you said that because on our last podcast, Alicia asked them a question, and the young ladies were saying that they want somebody that. No, Alicia asked the question: what happens if you're dating somebody and you know you're used to talking to them all the time, and for 3 days they just stop calling you? Is that a part of ghosting you? Are they cheating or whatever? But what one of the young ladies said was she wants a guy that will contact her in the beginning all the time, right? Because it's new. She wants to get to know him. She said, but later on, that's what Danica said. She said, but later on, that if he's calling her as much, then she's like, why are you calling me so much? Don't you have something to do? Why are you not working? And I said, well, he should have been that same guy in the beginning, not calling you as much because he has something to do. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, I want this man in the beginning to call me all the time, or I don't feel like he's really interested. And then later you want him to stop because he should be busy. Should he have been busy in the beginning as well?
I think she been busy. I mean, I just don't. Well, I kind of like. I'm not gonna say to a man, you should have been busy in the beginning because you should have established that from the beginning. You know, what is he doing to make his life better, or are we on the same page, or is he working as much as hard as I am? Not even that, but at the same time, I need that energy. You working, you calling me, because you got to take a minute out of your time. So you call her, see how, or him, or see how you doing, or something like that. Even if you're working.
No, good point, because I said that.
Yeah.
I said when he meets in the beginning, he should be the type of guy that be like, listen, I'm running the business or I work a lot, but when I have time, I'm gonna make sure I spend time with you. The time I spend with
And
you
I appreciate
will make
stuff
it
like
good.
that.
But like what she said was, again, like I said, these are just questions we like to ask to spark up a conversation, right? And she said again that she would like for him in the beginning to call a lot. I want to hear from you every day. That's what she said. But later, I don't want you to call me every day because you should be busy. So my thing is, if you met him in the beginning, he should. And if he wasn't busy in the beginning, he's not going to be busy later either. You want somebody that's doing the same thing. If I'm a man I have a business, I can't take away, I just met you and give you all my time and be like, listen, I'm going to put my business on the back burner because you feel like you need all my time right now. When I do have time, I'm going to make sure I spend it with you.
You prioritize, you make time for what's
I
important
was
to
going
you.
to say the same thing.
You make time.
Exactly.
No,
Regardless of how busy you are.
make time for
Yeah.
you make time for things that you want.
Again, what y'all are saying is true, but that's not what I said. What I said, this young lady.
You said when you get time.
Yes, because I have a business. So
right, but somebody who has a business will make the time.
I said that.
If they want it. No, you said when you get time, and there's a difference.
It's the same thing.
So that's like when it's convenient for you
Exactly.
and you're fully available,
Yes.
then I will put you into that space.
Yes.
And what we're saying is, although you have a business and you're busy, despite free time might not be several hours down the road, you're going to make time in your schedule for what you want.
Yeah.
What you said,
I hear that you make time for what you want, but again, the reason I use the word make time, because if you meet somebody in the beginning and you give them a whole bunch of time, if a female or male, you give the opposite sex a whole bunch of time in the beginning,
And they change up.
and then you change up, that's a
the
problem. That's the whole topic of it. It's a problem. If you start, I say you got to hold out how you start out.
But no, to me, you can do that too, but it's all about communication.
Mhm.
It's all about, okay, all right, give me an example. Say if I've been busy this whole week and somebody said to me, oh boy, you so busy, but I took out the time to say, you know what, I had to go to Georgia. I had to do this, I had to do that. It's not like that I don't want to talk to you. It's, I was on the phone with this person, trying to get this done, to get this done. But at the same time, they have to be understanding. It's all about communication. If you can't communicate,
That's the bottom
it's
line.
going to be a problem whether you not working, or whatever the case may be.
That's the bottom
when you
line.
met that person and you told them what you do and that you are an entrepreneur and that you run your own business, right?
I told them all of that.
Right there, the person on the other side, if they're equally yoked or they've got a business or they're focused on
They
things,
will understand.
right? They would be understanding of that.
Absolutely.
People who have too much time on their hands are not going to understand the life of an entrepreneur because
Exactly.
they answer to somebody.
Yeah, and we
So
don't.
said
they
that.
get in that habit, that cycle of,
Mhm.
oh, we're working, we're punching the clock. And there's nothing against anybody who's punching the clock, but it is what it is. When you work for yourself, what you've been doing
A
for
lot.
X amount of time, doing a 9 to 5, all of a sudden you're so tired at work. When you are working for yourself, you find yourself doing 18-hour days because you run this and it's successful based on what you put into it. So there's no set schedule.
Yeah.
People who work for themselves, go ahead and try to, be with someone that works a set schedule. Hopefully y'all can make it work out.
Mhm.
But I wish that even man, woman, whatever, if you're focused and you're living in your purpose and you're building your business, the person coming along, oh, I need more of your time, right? You know where my mind goes? What is the return on investment if I take 2 hours out of my day to be in your face versus continuing to pour into what I got going on over here, right? And then I do it because that's what required. I'm going to make the time and you're disappointing, right?
Mhm.
My investment of time with you just went down an hour. The next time you reach out, you need some time, that window has closed.
This goes back to my statement when I said that I'm going to make time for what's worth it to me. In the beginning, if I'm just dating you, I don't know you. I don't know what's worth the time. I'm not going to pour a whole bunch of time. So I'm going to make time for you in the beginning. Later on, in the beginning, if time is available. Later on, when it's proven to me what you said, that the investment is worth it, then I'll make time. We too busy jumping into something in the beginning,
You don't
pouring
even know.
into it, and don't even know if it's worth it, right? Right, but I know you had another question.
Now I'm gonna let you. This one was a
It's a good one.
it's
Wanna
a
keep
good
going?
one.
I like
Keep going.
like-minded people.
Yeah, but it is, and like I said, I don't disagree with nothing. When we come here, we ask questions that like to stir controversy, right? Because everybody has a different set of opinions, right? So we always want to see what everybody's different opinion is, right? But when you really boil it down and you come back to it, we wind up coming to the same road, right? Just think about what you said to me earlier. It's like you do make time for what you want. Yeah, but in the beginning, I have to make sure you're worth making time for it because if I have a business, I'm not going to just automatically just take away what you said, my investment, my dream, to put it to pour into somebody who's not worth it. And Alicia did ask that question on the last podcast too. Can two people, or I think it was me, two people in a different fields, how can they come together? Because if you're an entrepreneur and your spouse isn't, it brings problems because they don't understand it, right? And we don't always fall in love with another entrepreneur, right? I mean, it would be textbook. It would be idea that we just ran to the person that we love that it was exactly what we thought they should be, but it doesn't happen that way. So if you're an entrepreneur and your spouse isn't, or the person that you're dating isn't an entrepreneur, she said in the last podcast, how does that work? And you answered it really doesn't.
It can work. I think it
If
can
they
work,
understand it.
but there has to be some understanding, right? In respect, because when you pour into your own business, you know what goes into that. You look at life different when there's no guarantee the paycheck is coming, right? Or you
Hello.
look your everything, your decision making process when you're building something from the ground up. There are no no opportunities for failure here.
Right.
The money's not going to come just because I showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully your partner knows that and understands, and then you can you meet somewhere in the middle.
What was that lady name that Yanni sent us that video?
I can't remember.
The one with her, that she said, the one that she retired her husband.
Oh, Tabitha
Tabitha
Brown.
Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Tabitha, yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
I love her.
Mhm.
And that's a true example of what we said. He wasn't an entrepreneur, but she was. And that goes back to what Michelle said.
You
He
support
was
them
supportive.
because
He
they're
was supportive.
look. This is the person that's got the big dream that's opening doors. Both of us can't go at the same time, right?
Right.
So he knew how to play his position, and
Yeah.
she knew how to play hers.
Mhm.
Right.
That
Mhm.
there was a lot of support that went into that. I love that too.
Wouldn't it be nice if we all got that lucky the first time at the roll of the dice?
Ooh.
Because I'm telling you, it's hard. It's really hard. It's really hard to find somebody that will support your dreams if they don't see it, right? And if they don't get an immediate return
Then they're
on
not
it.
the person for you.
Yeah, but like I said, that's the life that we run into because we have to go through those things to find out they're not the one for you.
But it's crazy that you have to go through that because just like I said, I'm doing all of this and the first thing that comes to their mind, what you doing? What you seeing? You seeing somebody else? I was like,
I want to ask. Actually, can I ask her something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So since you're an entrepreneur, so I'll share an experience with everybody. What I have seen the biggest change from, we just use, my personal experience is marriage and then divorce. But even with relationship and then going to the next level of relationship, the biggest change that I have seen is that people are content with you or your partners are content with you until you exceed what their expectation was for you,
Mm.
right? They be all supportive for your business and there for you, and you're gonna see this through, show up to everything until you break that glass ceiling.
Yeah.
And now your new floor is their ceiling,
Mm.
and you keep going up, and they're in the same place. If you don't have a partner that's truly in it for you because they love you, right, and can see the vision, whatever you're trying to do, okay, I'm here for you because I love you. That love is going to turn to resentment, is going to turn to hate because you're moving forward and they're staying behind. And not just in relationships, in friendships too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
That's
I
good.
agree.
Absolutely.
They're the first to go.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're the first to
Because
go.
they don't see a vision.
You know,
Or if they do see a vision, then they can start to get a little envy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's why
I've
they
had
say
that.
your new heights. Sometimes you have to shut off old skin because
Yeah.
everybody's not meant to go with you to your new place.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? So friends, family, lovers, sometimes they, like you said, they have to go because they're still here while you're moving there. And jealousy, resentment, that's what people tell you what you can't do, or you're stupid for doing it, or it's not gonna work. Right? People just so judgmental because they can't see what you see.
Let me tell you one thing I've heard. They was like, there's no shade, but one thing was said to me, and because some days you have that like, dang, you know what, you feel like you're struggling, but that's sometimes it's in your mind, and sometimes I might come back to reality. All right, I got this. I had somebody said to me, well, maybe you need to go get a regular job.
Mm.
That's not being supportive.
He said, bye.
That was a
Thank you.
woman.
She said,
That was a
bye.
woman.
No, that was me.
That was a man.
Yeah.
They gotta go.
Right?
TD, there was something I watched on YouTube of being 3 types of people, and I live by this. There's the confidants, the people that are there for you because they love you.
Right.
There's your constituents.
Mm.
They're for what you are for, okay? As long as the vision, they believe in the vision, they're going to be by your side because you both believe in the same thing, and then they're comrades. They're not for you, and they're not for what you're for. They just are against what you're against. Then you all only get together when you have a mutual enemy or mutual opposition. TD Jakes is who said it. And I swear to you, I live by those 3 type of people, identifying people quickly where they're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
To just to save time, but also just like really getting to know people that are around you. I'm sure as you've built your business, you see new people come out the woodworks, people that will attach to you for opportunities. People are really opportunists out here, you know, and it's hard to decipher, to know the difference between who's for me or they only here because they trying to be on the same train. And it's okay if you're trying to be on the same train, but it's not okay if we confuse who those people are, like what their role is around us.
And that's why it's so hard today to find those people.
I'm just saying, I like what you're saying about putting people in categories. Because at first we feel like we shouldn't do that. And now, like you said, when you do become an entrepreneur, when you're in that role, it's very important to do that in the beginning.
Yeah.
We spend so much time trying to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Or trying to uplift them,
trying to
get them
to that next level, and we should put them in categories from the beginning.
Yeah,
for sure.
You become like the 5 people that you spend the most of your time around statistically. So you should constantly be surveying your group. If I want to go to my next level or whatever, I need to find people that are already doing it, and I need to go be around them, because if I spend enough time around them, the data shows I'm going to become like that.
That takes me back. Old saying for the country people. My mother used to always say, "Steve, you become the company you keep."
Country.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But listen, when I say my family's from the country, okay, my family's from the deep woods of North Carolina, a little place called Princeville, right? I'm telling you, when we drop Princeville
Go to
is
Georgia. I just came from
when Princeville, when you drive through, I swear it's updated now, but until like maybe 9 years ago, it looked like Roots. Everybody's sitting on the porch, hey, with the outhouses and stuff. It was country. It was country. It was country. They didn't have no lights. Okay.
Stoplight, I should say. They got no street lights.
No, they have no lights. Trust me, no lights. But let's get another question.
No, but what were you saying? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
You are the company. He said, "Girl, he said, you are the company. The company that you keep."
My mother used to always say, "You become the company you keep."
Yeah,
that's real.
That's real.
When you hang around people who don't want nothing, that's what you'll become. Lazy people, that's what you'll become. Somebody that's inspirational and pushing, you see that's what you want to become. So it's just a piggyback off of what Sahar said. It is.
In respect. So what happens? I mean, I know what happens for us as women, all of us, right? Especially in our respective industries. That when you decide, you know what, I'm going to get focused on growth, self-development. I'm going to scale up, right? And then you get to, you acting funny. Or you know what, you ever since you decided to do this, you changed. I'm supposed to.
Yeah,
okay?
Supposed to change.
And the fact that you're getting all bent out of shape about the boundary that I just put in my life because you ain't doing nothing, right?
Crap.
You can they either take their L respectfully, like, damn, I wasn't staying on my grind, and that's why she stopped wanting to hang around and we stopped doing stuff because I'm not keeping up, right? Or you get people that really think that you have changed, but you're supposed to. We're constantly supposed to be evaluating yourself and developing.
We're constantly evolving every single day.
I had a friend, and this is funny. I had a friend that I met and I used to talk to when I first got here in Charlotte. She's really doing big things. Like I can't tell you who it is, but we met one time and we were talking, and I was like, "This is so great." And then she went on to do it. So I'm like, "Yeah, she don't call me no more." Well, it took me a couple years. It's like she went to her next level. You ain't up there. So be happy for her, celebrate her, and focus on how you get to your next level. And then I was happy about it. But for the longest, I was like, what the heck happened to her? She got busy doing exactly what she said she was going to do.
Wow.
And then it took me 2 years, but then I did the same. And there's a lot of people that you just don't talk to or see.
It's automatic.
Right, and then sometimes they're not supposed to be there.
Right.
So everybody
can't go with you.
That's why I'm so thankful for seasons, because every season is different. Every season.
And it's so crazy. This is what I tell my kids, because I push entrepreneurship for my kids. At least they know everyone, like my daughter, she's writing books. My son, he does his clothing. And my other daughter, she does hair, she has her own salon. It's like, I talk, sleep, breathe entrepreneur into my kids because I want them to flourish, and they are flourishing, and I'm blessed that, they can see their mother doing it, and I want them to do it too. So it starts with us.